It's CPR because it's a heart-centered approach. It's just really so you can remember it. The C and the P and the R stand for something. And it's what you should be doing every day in social media. And it makes it really easy to remember, no matter what platform you're on. If you're performing CPR on your social media, you will be connecting with people. So the C stands for commenting, and that would be commenting on other people's items. Because you don't want to be seen as somebody who's just broadcasting information. This is social, which means two-way, right? So commenting on other people's things. Now, on Facebook, you have the choice of doing that either as your personal profile or as your business page. There's a little link up at the top where you can say use Facebook as your page, and then you can comment on other pages. You can't interact with people as your page, but you can do that with other pages. So figure out a business or even like a magazine or something that serves a similar market or where people would be interested. Let's even take like Oprah, Good Housekeeping or something like that. They have business pages, right? If your page likes that business page, you can comment on their items. And then people in their networks get curious, like, what is that Susie Storymaker thing? I'll click on that and come over to your page. It also shows that you're interactive with people, whether you're posting as yourself or as your page. People want to know that you notice them too. The P stands for posting. The main idea is posting consistently and using that 90-10 rule. So on Facebook, for example, that would be once a day. Anybody who's not already posting once a day and might be thinking, oh, I have to do this once a day. Don't worry about it, but really there's a thing called edge rank on Facebook. Has anybody heard of that before? Facebook has this funny thing where the news feed is made up of stuff that Facebook thinks you want to see. That's why you don't ever see your real friends. It's kind of like a popularity contest, right? So there's a whole mathematical equation for how they figure out which things to post. They're basically watching what you do on Facebook, and the more you interact with other things, the more it thinks you want to see that. It's kind of a big brotherly thing in a way. But one of the factors is how fresh that content is. So if you go a couple weeks without ever posting anything on Facebook, Facebook starts thinking you're not important to your friends or to your fans. So it stops showing your page in the newsfeed. LinkedIn has been set up as a place where people find jobs, right? And you have a job. You have a help wanted that you can offer to people because you have a business opportunity. So it started out as kind of like your online resume, where you're listing what you're working on and what you're doing, all your experience and all that kind of stuff. But what the real magic is on LinkedIn is within the groups. So LinkedIn has groups you can participate in. You can also start your own if you know that enough of your client base is working on LinkedIn. And some of you might be more business to business. That might make a lot of sense for you. But participating in groups. So for example, you can participate in a group about home-based businesses. People will ask a question, how do you do trade shows? Right? You can jump in and give your advice about it, and what's happening is people who are looking for business opportunities are watching and reading your answers and thinking, wow, she sounds like somebody I'd want to sign up under. So it's a way to demonstrate your expertise. So definitely use LinkedIn for that purpose. There's also some other features in there that work really great. You can also make a company page. You can brand your own self, like Susie Storymaker or something like that, and make a little company page on there. That's kind of a newer feature. LinkedIn luckily moves a lot slower than Facebook, so you can do that maybe once a week or every other week, so don't worry about taking too much time with that one. The advantage of Twitter, however, is that it's really highly indexed by the search engines. Twitter moves fast. I like to look at, LinkedIn, by the way, is the formal networking meeting. You're all dressed up. You might even be wearing hose. That's how formal it is. You're watching your P's and Q's and making sure you take the right red light and all that. It's very formal, right? Twitter, on the other hand, is more like the cocktail party on a Friday night in the downtown business district, where everybody's letting their hair down, they're talking about the news, they're discussing all kinds of things going on, and your job is to listen in and find a conversation that you can jump into and maybe add some value to. The downside of Twitter is it moves so fast, basically the only thing people see are what's in front of them when they first log in, and then it just moves kind of like a chat room. So in order to be effective on it, you need to be posting several times a day. Morning, noon, night, and bedtime minimum, if that's the platform you choose to really get into. But luckily, one thing you can do is have your Facebook go to your Twitter. If you go to facebook.com/Twitter, they tell you all how to do it right there. It's simple as pie. And at nothing else, you've got that one post a day going out to Twitter because of the search engine aspect on Twitter. Because it moves so quickly, each little tweet is almost like its own little web page. So each little tweet is a potential doorway into your business. So consider it for that reason. Does anybody have their own personal Facebook group? Like for your team or maybe hostesses or something like that? Okay, great. How many of you participate in the company pages or groups that are out there? Okay, wonderful. So Facebook, it seems to be really effective for people in direct sales because not only can you reach consumers, but you can also support your team in the field and all that kind of stuff, so it can be really great. It's kind of, meet people where they are. There's 900 million people on Facebook. Chances are your customers are on there, right? So what I like to do is I like to compare all the social media sites to something in real life, just to kind of help you get a feel for how to behave on that platform because each of them has their own flavor. So I look at Facebook as the backyard barbecue. You've got a lot of different people that are coming. Some are family members, some are friends, some are your neighbors, maybe some business customers or just networking contacts that you've got that come to this barbecue. So it's a little bit different. It's not the kind of barbecue where you're sitting around in your sweats eating a hot dog. It's the kind where you put your cute jeans on and you make the cute little napkins and wrap them up in cute little forks, and you just kind of, you know you're a business person, and there are people there who see you as a business person. You want a really nice professional reflection. Now Facebook, of all of the sites, Facebook actually has 3 different versions. So there's your personal profile. That would be my Karen Clark page, right, or profile. That's where I mostly share about what's going on in my family, pictures of my kids. Usually it's my relatives that are on there. You keep up with the grandparents, posting things, if they're on Facebook. Maybe participating in other groups, you would do that as your personal profile. The second version is the business page, also known as a fan page, which that's what I'm teaching in the workshop this afternoon. The business pages have a distinct advantage in that they are indexed by the search engines. So let's talk about the search engines really briefly, just so you understand how this works. Google, Yahoo, Bing, all of those index things. That means that they record them in their directory based on a lot of different factors, actually. It's kind of a mystery. They don't tell us exactly how they do it because they don't want you to game the system. But the main things that they judge things on are things like relevance of the words, meaning if I type something into the search engines, how close of a match is that web page to what I typed into the search engine? Okay, so words, you want to have lots of words. The second factor would be the freshness of the content, so how new it is. A web page that's 10, 15 years old that's never been updated is going to rank really low. And when I talk about ranking, it's like when you Google something, whatever appears on that first page, usually people never go to the second page, so you want to be like number 1, number 2, number 3, up high. So the older the page, the lower the rank. The fresher the content, the higher the rank. And the third factor is what we call link structure. Links going into the website, links going out of the website. So things that are linked to the site, things that are linked out to share an article or something like that. So guess what? Facebook and all of the social media sites, in fact, accomplish all 3 of those things very, very well. So you have lots of words. When you're looking at your Facebook page, lots of words. Anything that you post is a possible relevant keyword, right? It's fresh content. It's moving right in front of your eyes, right? You're seeing that newsfeed. Every time something is posted, Google sees it as a fresh page. And the link structure, well, on Facebook, everything blue is a link. And half the site is blue, right? All the little names, all the little groups, all the little links, all the little ads on the side, those are all links going out. And then, of course, people link into Facebook. Social media sites will come up even higher. I know people who have spent thousands of dollars building a beautiful website, and they're like, every time I search for myself, my Facebook comes up. You just can't beat the system. So a business page on Facebook, if it's done correctly, can be really, really powerful because there are people out there looking for exactly what you have to offer.